And this you see again and again as you travel around the world. Everybody is following a certain teacher, somebody else. And when they read something, they read the books of that teacher. When they listen to talks, they listen to the talks of that particular teacher. Sometimes it's a Tibetan tradition, sometimes the Mahayana tradition, sometimes some kind of sub-tradition within Theravada. But very, very rarely is it actually the word of the Buddha himself. And this is, in my opinion, it's unfortunate, because these traditions may have a lot of good things in them. I'm not saying that these traditions are bad or evil or anything like that, certainly not. But the point is that you can never really know with absolute certainty how accurately they reflect the word of the Buddha, unless you read it for yourself and you find out what's actually going on in those suttas. Now, I think there is a very good reason why people tend to reflect, or it was rather why people tend to go to all these different traditions rather than going to the word of the Buddha. And the reason for that is a historical one. The historical reason is that the suttas have only existed in the Pali language, or even in Sanskrit languages, up until very, very recently. For the last maybe 2,000 years before they were translated into modern languages, they only existed basically in Pali and Sanskrit. And nobody could actually read them except for a very small group of specialist monks and also perhaps nuns, but that's a long time ago now, that were actually able to read these suttas. And these were only accessible to this tiny little group of elitist monks and nuns around monasteries in Asia. And apart from that, nobody had direct access to these suttas. And if you were a layperson, or if you were a monastic who didn't understand Pali, you had to rely on these other experts to actually be able to understand the word of the Buddha. You had this filter, if you like. You had filtered through other people.